Well, we have a very important call on the line. We're going to hold it for a little while because we'd like to set the scene for you. Dr. Ben, can you just set the scene for our viewers?
Well, on that was February 8th, one of our medical students, actually there were two of them, a male and female student, they went out in the evening. A group of students went out to just relax and have a little fun. So on their way back home, a vehicle was driving down the St.Jude highway, and apparently it was speeding, and it ran up the road and went on to these two students, and basically both of them got injured. But it happened that this particular student, Omotayo Morrison, we commonly call him Tayo, got badly injured and was taken to St.Jude Hospital. All effort was made basically to deal with the problem that the doctors were facing, but this was a typical case of brain injury resulting from the trauma that he sustained as a result of the accident. And so he bled in the brain, and as you may have heard, we made effort to transfer him to Martinique. But also, again, as I said, time is usually a factor. And when the doctors in Martinique got a report of his condition, they thought they couldn't really do much, and they did not accept the transfer. So that is what actually
oh my gosh.
happened.
No, the risk was too high.
The risk was too high, and that's what happened. They will accept the patient if they think they can actually make a positive difference.
Oh my gosh.
And they do not want to take him there, and at the end he dies there. Then people might say, oh, Martinique didn't do a good job or whatever, and that's what usually happens.
Gosh.
So it was very sad. I was at the ER right from the time I got called. It was about minutes to 3 or 3 a.m. I got there, and all through the morning hours, through the evening, I stayed in the hospital. We brought him to Tapion Hospital, got a CT scan done, everything, took him back. We tried even transfer him to the States, but again, getting a plane to get here, and this is an emergency that, if it's just some kind of emergency that you can play with time a little bit more, it's fine. But as time passed, the brain just kept swelling, and so that's what happened.
Okay, we have Tayo's parents on the line. We have Mr. Morrison with us, calling from overseas. Mr. Morrison, are you with us? Okay, we did have Mr. Morrison a while ago. Perhaps he will join us shortly. First of all, I spoke to Mrs. Morrison earlier this evening, and I have to say, what a brave lady, what a fantastically brave lady who speaks so strongly. So whilst we're waiting to get them back, okay, we do have Mr. Morrison back with us. Mr. Morrison, good night. Mr. Morrison?
Hello?
Can you hear us now?
Hello?
Hello. I can hear you now. Thank you so much, Mr. Morrison, for calling. And on behalf of DBS and our teams, please accept our deepest sympathies. Are you able to hear me?
Hello?
Hello?
Yes, I can hardly hear you.
Okay, I apologize for that. But I can hear you. If you can possibly just speak up a little bit, that would help. Can you hear me now?
Your voice is very low.
All right, let me just speak to Dr. Ben whilst the director of the show speaks to you, so we can get this right, so we can hear you a little bit clearer. Dr. Ben, you spoke about, what happened. How does it feel for you as a health professional, as a human being, that you have to say so many different things to so many different people to try and save a life?
It's like I said earlier on, when you have a patient before you, you always look at how you can save this patient's life,
Yes.
especially when the nature of the injury tells you that this patient needs an urgent care. If it's a neurosurgery, that is what you try to do. To
Sorry,
make sure
Dr.
it
Ben,
can-
I've just been
yeah.
asked to go back. Let's see if we can
Okay.
get through to Mr. Morrison. Mr. Morrison and the viewers, apologies. We are just trying to make sure that you can hear him clearly, because of course that's very important. Mr. Morrison, are you with us?
Yes, I'm here, but
Oh.
your voice is still faint.
All right. Can I just...
Oh, yes, I can hear you
Is
now.
that better? Thank you. As I said earlier, thank you so much for joining us, and please accept our deepest sympathies on the loss of your son.
Yes.
All right. We haven't had a moment to speak about the foundation, and perhaps you can tell our viewers a little about your son.
Yeah, I can. You're very choppy now. I can hardly hear you.
All right. Can you tell us about your son?
Yes? Hello?
Hello.
Yes.
We're
I
seeing...
can hardly hear you.
Okay, we are seeing pictures of your son at the moment. He seemed very athletic, very happy, very full of life.
Yes, he was very full of life. He was like that from birth. You know, his name is Omotayo. It's a Yoruba name, and it means a child brings joy. So he was a very happy young man. And, you know, at home we have never seen him sad. He always had a smile on his face. And, you know, I too, I'm his father, I'm very athletic, so, you know, I put him into sports. And he excelled in athletics. As a matter of fact, he won the 400 gold medal in Ohio in the United States a few years ago.
Wow. I mean, your loss is, well, very recent. Very, very recent. How do you get the strength to go on?
Hello?
How do you get the strength to go on without your son?
Oh, yeah, the strength, we're drawing strength from each other, my wife and my two daughters here, and since this incident happened, we have visitors coming in every day, you know, to console us. Plus we're getting calls from all over the world, from friends who are just hearing about it and trying to comfort us. We also have friends who are taking us out for dinner and for brunch and for lunch. We're even going for massage.
Mm-hmm. Do you fully understand why your son passed?
Hello?
I'm asking Mr. Morrison, do you fully understand why your son didn't make it?
Repeat that question?
How do you feel knowing that there was a possibility your son could have made it?
That my son could what?
He could have survived.
He could have survived.
How do you feel?
Well, you know, the coroner's report showed that he had a very severely damaged brainstem. And, you know, the impact was very, very serious. You know, so based upon the coroner's assessment of what happened, you know, he wouldn't have survived this injury because they know the car was speeding and the impact was very hard on him, you know, and everything was, all the injuries was in the head.
But at
injuries. So
but at the time, Mr. Morrison, you didn't know that. You did at the time when the doctors were, and Dr. Ben was trying to save him. You didn't know that.
No, I didn't know that at the time, but you know, the doctors were trying their best to save him. They were trying to get him to a neighboring country where the facilities were much better. And, you know, I understand that for him to make that trip, they would have to do a brain scan, a CAT scan, to see, you know, the nature of the wound, because it was in the head and they could not see what was happening inside. So they had to do a CAT scan to see what was happening inside before he could make that trip to a neighboring country.
What are you and your wife doing now in memory?
Hello?
Yeah, Mr. Morrison? What are you and your wife doing now in memory of your son?
Well, my wife and I, we're trying here to organize the foundation. We have set up an account in the bank, and we're trying to draft up a statement here of objectives to make sure that it's legit so that people can start donating. As a matter of fact, we have checked with the bank last week, and money started to flow into the bank from friends and relatives. My wife is also making earrings. You know, she bought different earrings from places, and she's trying to make earrings so she can sell and do some fundraising to help with the foundation.
Dr. Ben, would you like to say anything to Mr. Morrison and Percival?
Yeah. Actually,
Hello?
Hello, Dr. Ben is talking to you, Mr. Morrison.
Hi, Mr. Morrison.
Hello?
Yes, Mr. Morrison, how are you doing?
Yes, I'm alive and well, sir. Under the circumstances, we're coping.
Okay, okay. Thank you very much. As you know, we have also opened an account here at Scotiabank in Vieux-Fort.
Yes.
And we actually had to request for some changes to be made because the name we initially gave the foundation was Omotayo Morrison Surgical Foundation, which I spoke to your wife about it. I told her it's supposed to be Neurosurgical Foundation and not a surgical foundation. So we are making those changes, and as soon as that is complete, then we will put it out to the public so then people know the account number and all other information so people can donate to the foundation.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's me. I'm also here, Mr. Morrison.
We also have set up a committee here that's working on the foundation. And we're going to be, as a matter of fact, I just told the lady, money started to flow into the account already.
Okay.
And we have, I think we have set an objective of raising over $1 million here on this side.
Very good.
Okay.
Yeah. Percival is here as well, Mr. Morrison.
Mr. Morrison, it's
Hello?
Percy. How are you? Percival McDonald, remember? How is the wife?
Oh, yes, Mr. McDonald.
Yes, how are you doing? How are you making out? All right?
Yes, under the circumstances, sir, the family is coping.
Yes, and we have you in mind all the time. I know we're in touch. Dr. Guru has been in touch with you all. And I know you have a new family in Vieux-Fort, and you're keeping in touch.
Yes, thank you very much.
So we all pull in together, and we'll continue to pull together to get through and our objective as far as that is concerned.
Yes, it's not been easy, sir. But,
I know.
You know, we have 2 daughters, and we have to focus on them right now.
I know. And I know it hasn't been easy. I know we were
Omotayo
here.
will always be in our memories.
And I will always be in our memory at Spartan, because even as we talk and we know his hat is also, his hat he used to wear, the white one which he left, it's in the admissions office. So each time we walk in, we can see the smile and we can see the hat.
Yes.
So say hello to the wife for me, and I'm hoping to see you all pretty soon anyhow.
Thank you very much.
All right.
And also, Mr. Morrison, a lot of people who knew him, in terms of were with him, who knew that we were doing the show tonight, have actually sent messages and said, you know, we remember him, we will always remember him. You know, what a wonderful person he was. So he was loved greatly, and you had a young man to be extremely proud of. So please thank your wife for speaking to me earlier, and please continue your strength and your faith, and thank you so much for sharing some of your, you know, your thoughts and your emotions and your son's life with us. Thank you so much.
Yes, ma'am. We reciprocate those fine sentiments, madam. Thank you.
Thank you. All
God
right,
bless.
Good night. Yes,
Thank you.
God bless.
Thank you.
Oh, well, I mean,
So it is actually, we have the opening, the launching of the foundation coming up on the last Saturday of this month, the 29th. And we're going to have a function at the school.
all right. Well, let's go to a break. When we come back, we're going to explain a little bit more about that. And also, we want to explain to you the difference between neurosurgeons and neurologists. There is a difference. This is Dolor Factor live on DBS. We'll be right back.